View from the Gutters, episode 22. Welcome to View from the Gutters, the comic book podcast where each episode we discuss a collected edition, trade paperback, or graphic novel, and then recommend and vote on the book for the next episode. Warning: the discussion portion of this show has massive spoilers for that book. On this episode, we discuss Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon, and to skip ahead to the recommendation section, skip to 3724. All right, and welcome to the podcast, episode 22. This is View from the Gutters. I'm Andrew Chard.
I'm Joe Preti.
Cade Reynolds.
And I'm Tobiah Panshin.
We changed everything up in here. You guys can't see it because I turned the video stream off, but...
Wait, there was a video stream?
Oh, yeah, always going in my house at all times.
You didn't know about the secret camera?
I just record everything that happens.
Uh-oh, Chard, does that mean the thing we did the other night?
I turned the cameras off for that, thank
Okay.
God. Nobody
It's a little
needs to see that.
disconcerting.
Yeah, I want my money back.
Well,
It's a stainless steel room we're in. Chard has told us we're okay, but I don't...
it's a safety room. It's a panic room.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm panicking.
I don't feel safe.
No one feels safe in the panic room.
We can record through the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Where the record pack... yeah, so...
Okay, so quick announcement before we get started.
Yeah.
We've been discussing for a while one of the inherent flaws in our setup, which is that we're kind of limited to do things that, like, a single volume, basically. Because more than that would be kind of difficult for people to read within the time span between episodes, yada, yada, yada. And so we've been talking about a way that we can discuss longer works within the format of the podcast. And so the idea that we've hit on is doing, like, every, let's say, 3 months, an entire long run of a particular work. So if we wanted to talk about Mark Waid's run on The Flash, or if we wanted to talk about an entire series like Why the Last Man, all 10 volumes, we could do that, and then the next episode, bonus episode of this type, would be 3 months after that. So you would have plenty of time to read at least most of the series before we talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've decided that we're going to do this. It's going to be called The Long Run.
Yeah.
The first episode is probably going to be in, like, mid-June.
That's when we're recording. So.
We're shooting for recording around mid-June, so...
We'll probably announce it when we get a little bit closer, but it's... the first work that we're going to be talking about is Transmetropolitan by Warren Ellis and Derek Robertson.
Yeah.
And we will be discussing it in depth, so you read it or don't listen to it, because there will be spoilers.
Just like our show regularly.
Yeah.
Well,
it's going to be pretty
Transmet
spoilerific.
is like the best comic that there's ever been, so you should have read it at least twice by
you
now.
should
I
have.
started reading it finally.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah,
Initial thoughts? It's all right.
month and a
That's all
half,
right.
somewhere in there. We're going to be talking about the entire run of Transmetropolitan. It's going to be the long run, episode 1.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that, start reading Transmetropolitan now.
Yeah, and then we'll announce what we're doing at the end of that episode, and then 3 months from this, so we'll do it quarterly. So 3 months from there, we'll do another long run.
Yeah, whatever we pick at the end of that episode, we'll be talking about in, like, September-ish.
Yeah.
If all of us are still alive.
Yeah. We did slip poison into everyone's drink tonight. So, well, into one person's drink.
Iocane powder.
I gave my drink to Joe.
Oh, well, we don't know. We'll have to find out.
I didn't drink
Tune
that
in next
drink.
episode to find out who got the poison. Cliffhanger.
Well, everybody knows that the
J.J.
poison's
Abrams.
in the vessel with the pestle.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Cliffhanger.
Jeff
J.J. Abrams.
J.
So, Chard, what
fair.
did we read this time?
I don't remember.
Fuck.
We
Oh,
read
no, we read Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, Mad Fraction, Daniel Asia, the team behind the incredibly successful relaunch or reboot of
I think we
Mortal
call it a
Iron Fist.
relaunch.
You think of a relaunch?
Yeah.
We'll go with relaunch.
He's got a new costume.
of
Yeah.
the Immortal Iron Fist.
Uh-huh.
Tackle everybody's favorite purple-headed Avenger,
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
They didn't like reboot his origin or anything. It was
No,
just
no,
like they
no.
just
I guess,
it's a
yeah,
relaunch.
so-
Has
relaunch.
Hawkeye ever had a comic of his own before?
He's had miniseries.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is volume 4.
Is it? I
Yeah.
was looking at the credits and I couldn't find it. But yeah, this is Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon.
Which yes, I like it.
Yeah.
I like the title.
Initial thoughts, Joe.
I think I was thinking about this earlier today, what I was going to say, because I initially had a problem with the book that wasn't a problem with the book. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't like pretzels because they're not ice cream, right? one of the big problems with me and Hawkeye is that
He should really be wearing the Goliath costume.
he really should be wearing the Goliath costume.
I thought so too.
He's
I'm pretty sure he only wears that in the bedroom these days.
Yeah.
the problem is that he's not right off the bat. It's very easily to draw parallels between Hawkeye and Kate.
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop,
Who is also Hawkeye.
who is also Hawkeye.
Who's a better Hawkeye.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, Young Avengers is a great book. It's a shame that it had such a short
Isn't
run.
it coming back?
It is
It is coming back,
It
and
is
it's-
back, and it's being... it's Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey
Yeah, good
working
stuff.
together again.
Yeah, good stuff.
And it's pretty incredible.
But I think it's really easy to draw parallels between this and what Kevin Smith did with Green Arrow a few years back in Quiver. And I think...
Was it? Yeah. Longbow Hunters too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Quiver, and then I think...
He didn't do Longbow Hunters, but I
No, it was... Meltzler came in with... And then Hester was doing all the art, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it does a good job of getting out from under that pretty quickly. I mean, I put it aside because I have faith in these guys. Immortal Iron Fist has been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid. Because he was cheesy and he could punch through steel girders. And come on, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what they did with him was amazing. The art is amazing. It's like a feast for the eyes, and it's just one of my favorite things to read. And while I did not like Hawkeye as much, it has solely to do, the only reason I didn't like it as much is because I've never had that much of a connection with Hawkeye as a character. I think this is, they do a great job with the character. They do a really good job of setting him up outside the Avengers and letting him do his own thing. And it's a lot of fun. This is a great example about how Marvel is nailing it these days. It's a Marvel Now book. It's a great jumping on point. If you are looking to get into superhero comics, it's brilliant. Pick it up because you really don't need to know much about the Marvel Universe to get into this book. And it is fun. It's a lot of fun. There's some great moments in the book that I definitely cracked up. And I think it does it all and manages to stay relatively true to the character. So I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Cade, what did you think?
I really liked it. I love Kate Bishop. I thought that the chemistry between the two was absolutely amazing. I liked that he called her a 9-year-old, even though she's, 17 or 18?
I actually don't know how old she was. I was going to look it up.
I think she's 18.
Yeah, I actually did try to look it up, but I couldn't find it anywhere, because I know she was like 14 in the original Young Avengers, but I know she has her driver's license in this, because she's definitely driving cars.
Well, she may not have her license, though. I mean, you can just drive without a license. That's not illegal.
True.
No, not
When you're a superhero.
Well, just wait. I mean, like in real life, though, you can do it, too.
Well, you can, as
Yeah.
long as the cops don't catch you.
Yeah, it's not
View
illegal.
from the Gutters does not endorse anybody driving without their driver's license.
Okay, regardless of whether she has a license or not, she is old enough to drive. She says some very high schooler things,
Yeah,
as opposed to...
The art's hard, too, because like all comic book characters, she looks like she's in her mid-20s.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to tell, like, how old she is. And, but, I mean, you know.
And one of the things about the art is it was very reminiscent of one that my sister and I were reading about 10 years ago, and I can't remember who it was or even what the book was, but it's not an art style that you normally see in superhero books unless you go way back to the 70s or 80s.
It's very pulp. It's
It
like
is
super
very
pulpy,
pulp.
like thick, dark lines around the edges of everything. It reminds me of, was it Michael Lark who was doing?
Larks, yes.
He was doing like Gotham Central, and
Yeah.
he does the flashback sequences in Captain America.
God, that was one of the
And he
best parts
does
of Gotham Central.
Batman 9 Lives. It also kind of is reminiscent of Criminal a little bit too,
Yeah.
which we read on the. Was that what we read? No, we read Incognito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's a little bit reminiscent of that too. I don't know which. Do you remember which one it was that you were reading?
That it was reminiscent of? No, I don't. I was looking at forum posts and Wikipedia to try to figure out the similar artists, but none of the ones that were coming up were the ones I'm thinking of. But I don't know. My sister suggested maybe League of Extraordinary Gentlemen of the older ones. I don't remember, but
That one's a little sketchier than this. This is like pretty polished outlines.
But regardless, it's not an art style that you see in normal mainstream superhero comics. At least not a front shelf Marvel title.
Yeah.
And that was very catchy to me.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't play like an ordinary superhero comic. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of superhero comics, and this definitely doesn't read like one. The art style is different. The writing is different. It's much more shitty James Bond. which is it's good. I mean, I did enjoy it. I don't think it was my favorite thing ever, but I liked reading it. I think Kate Bishop is really what sells the comic. If she weren't there, I don't think it would work quite as well, because Hawkeye really needs a foil.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he tries to act like the straight man, but he's not the straight man. He's the funny guy.
Yeah, no, totally.
Kate Bishop is the straight man, and he needs her for this comic to really work. And it does really work. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that happens. The artist switches halfway through this volume from Aja to Polito. Polito? Polito.
Polito, yeah.
I didn't like his work quite as much. It's a little bit too... I don't know what.
Oh yeah, starting
Commercial
with the Tape miniseries. It changed artists.
Yeah.
It's still good, but it doesn't work quite as well as the first guy.
I actually
who's
had
the
trouble
third guy in
telling
here, then?
some of the.
Oh, it's I don't know. That was a weird Young Avengers thing that they did.
Yeah,
it
that
was
was like
the
a Young
Avengers
Avengers backup
Presents.
story that they threw in here.
Yeah.
But Aja, like, just his panel work is great. Like, just the layouts that he does adds immeasurably to the story. I don't think it would work as well with a different artist who's doing a more traditional paneling style.
No, and it's I think one of the same things that sold Iron Fist is that it feels much more like an illustrated novel to me. Like, it's not laid out in a very typical superhero comic book way where you're like, smash, bang, zap. You know, it feels much more like these are stories that you're reading and they just so happen to be illustrated. And that's, I think, the brilliance of Fraction's writing.
There's very few or no splash pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The like quarter splash page or whatever is like about all you get. Where it's just
I was
like
flipping through and there's
lots
one
of little
that's
panels.
almost a splash page, but there's some panels at the top
Yeah.
where they're driving the car.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Like, it works like the intro to a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
But
cinematic.
it's not a splash page like you think of a superhero splash page.
Yeah.
No, it's very much more like an establishing shot. Yeah. He uses it very often at the beginning of a chapter to be like, oh, boom, here we go. And I love that all of those, too, basically have the words, this is not good, along
This
with
looks
them.
bad.
Or this looks bad, or this is not
bad.
good, this is bad.
I also love the subtitling.
Yeah.
Where the subtitles are all from Hawkeye's perspective, so it's like literally parentheses, something in Spanish.
Maybe Russian.
Yeah,
Russian
like,
maybe, or I don't know.
That was really
Yeah.
good.
I loved all that.
Good.
I also really loved the use of color palette throughout this. That really works incredibly well.
You know,
Now go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what it reminds me of? It's not like an illustrated novel. It's like reading a movie. I feel it's like very like good Guy Ritchie. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like there's a lot of shots that are just like Hawkeye turning his head to look at Cade, or like making a face in reaction to a situation.
Or he does a page with 24 panels on it.
Yes, yeah, and it's just the conversation that Clint and Kate are having, and that's I think that's what kind of I agree with you. I don't think I love the honesty about the books. I love that. Clint is like, yeah, I need Kate to be around. Like, without her, it doesn't work.
I mean, really, they're doing stuff that no one else is doing with superheroes.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said at the beginning, I think it really does show just how on top of things Marvel is with Marvel right now. Compared to DC, I could not imagine DC doing a book like this today.
Oh, God. DC.
Maybe 5 years ago, maybe 5 years from now, but right now,
No.
I cannot imagine this comic coming out from
just
DC.
spoiled the ending to their own huge crossover event. I mean, there's like...
So they're basically just getting everything right.
Totally.
They're just nailing
just
it.
nail it, like home run after home run after... This is like the this is like the DC right now, it's like the Yankees in the 20s. Mm-hmm. And I'm being completely sarcastic. You can't see my face, but I'm like rolling my eyes and...
Hey, they're the Babe Ruths of fucking up.
Yeah, no, they totally are. Actually, Marvel right now is like the Yankees, and DC right now is kind of like the Red Sox. They're around because they're like...
Fie upon your baseball.
Yeah.
Fie, I say.
I'm not getting any of these references.
I don't know.
One thing I did want to mention is that this book had an actual car chase in it that came off like a movie car chase.
Yeah.
And that is hard to do in a comic book.
Oh,
Yeah, it reminds me actually a lot of a book that Joe recommended, which was Parker. The Hunter, which is like super cinematic as well, and has like these kind of action scenes and this kind of like, you know, it's a pulpy style too, but that's not what makes them similar. It's the way that they like know how to lay out a panel together.
Yeah.
And they know how to put action into enough panels to give you the information, but not too many panels to bog anything down.
Right.
I was actually talking to Chard about this earlier this week, that one of the really hard things to do in comics is to show action, is to show movement and have like quick pacing.
Yeah.
That's something that's very hard to do, and one of the reasons that Jack Kirby was so well remembered is not because he was the best artist in the world in terms of like character design, but he was incredibly gifted at showing dynamic action on the page.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that this does really well is show dynamic action, where you can have a car chase in a comic book, which is something that's actually really hard to do.
Well, and it's a nice little nod to the Italian job too, with all the minis going on there. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And the tracksuit Draculas are hilarious.
Oh, God. Bro? You shouldn't have done that, bro.
Seriously?
Yo, bro.
Seriously, bro?
Seriously, bro? Doesn't Hawkeye start to do it at one point, too? It's like, are you kidding me, bro? That's great.
Yeah, I do. That's also the scene where he's like showing off all of his trick arrows, too, which is the thing that I've always joked about Hawkeye, is that he doesn't have enough trick arrows. Because, you know, I'm joking. Obviously, he has too many. Every archer has too many trick arrows.
Well,
but
what else can an archer do besides have trick arrows?
Shoot guys real
Kill
good.
people. Brings me to something I had.
And actually, he does kill a lot of people in this book.
Well, no, he doesn't kill anyone.
He doesn't kill anybody, and that's my problem with it. Is you killed them. You shot that guy in both his eyes with arrows.
Well, no, that wasn't him.
That was actually a fake scene.
That was fake. That was fake Hawkeye.
No.
The tape?
The thieves. The thieves. Maybe it's Cade.
Cade shoots a guy in the eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he actually says
He's
they'll
like,
live.
They'll live. They're blinded.
Maybe.
Yeah, and that's my problem. It's like, no, they won't. They're dead.
Well, it's the same thing as in Batman Return. No, Batman Begins. He like runs over a cop car and like flattens it into a pancake in the tumbler. It's like, oh yeah, those guys were fine. They just got up and got out of it. They were fine.
I would find it easier to believe that those guys survived
really
than a guy that got shot in both his eyes with arrows. Sharp. These aren't like eye poker arrows. They're just arrows. And I know he's blind. He's just blind.
I mean, there are different kinds of arrows, and like, you know, obviously
they could have a stopping mechanism that when it hits the eye socket, it like just pokes the eye out, and then it stops before it goes through the skull.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard to like have superheroes have the morals of like, I don't kill anyone, but all my weapons are bladed. And it's like,
exactly.
Someone's gonna get hurt.
It's like, well, then why? It's
like the Ninja Turtles, like, right? They didn't not in the Eastman and Laird, but in the television show.
That was my problem with that show, even when I was like 9 years old. Was, why do you have swords if you don't kill anybody? Like, what are you doing with those?
Donatello,
not much.
And Michelangelo, like, you know, they're fine. But, like, anytime Leonardo's chopping guys in half.
It's just not happening.
I mean, they got around a lot of that with fighting robots.
Well, no, that's totally true. But, I mean, they weren't...
Robots have feelings, too.
Yeah.
They were not
Especially
fighting...
mousers.
Eastman and Laird did not have them fighting robots. They were killing the shit out of things.
Well, yeah.
As
ninjas.
As ninjas should be. Yes,
ninjas aren't really people. They don't have souls.
That's true, but still.
It does hit on an important thing in comics in that a lot of stuff happens, but you need to, at the end of the day, be able to pretend that it didn't. That's, it's important when you're designing a book for, like teenagers as well as the, the unrated violence adult crowd. And if you want to make a book that they can all share and enjoy, you have to let people believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, you gotta suspend your disbelief a little bit on some of that stuff. I mean, it's hard when they're getting shot in the face with arrows.
Well, just take the Punisher, for instance. The Punisher has never harmed an innocent.
Yeah.
If you believe the party line on the Punisher, like, it is written canon, Punisher's never harmed an innocent. Mm-hmm. And you have to suspend your belief to be able to enjoy the character as a hero.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the people that want to believe that he has harmed innocents will think, oh, well, I bet one of those grenades killed an innocent person.
I'm pretty sure.
But the people that want to believe that there is no killing can get away with that.
Well, I mean, it is. We put these weird restrictions on our superheroes, like, oh, they will never kill. So it's like, okay, well, it's going to be really hard to blow anything up in a book without anybody dying, but so fuck it. We'll just have a car blow up in the background.
That city block that they destroyed at the end of Civil War, that was scheduled for demolition. There was nobody there in an entire block in New York City.
They evacuated it.
No one there. No homeless people, definitely.
This is something interesting to me. I might have mentioned this before on the podcast, but I recently reread all of Invincible. Not all of it. I mean, like... I'm in the 80s or something.
86.
Yeah. And Mark fights his... Invincible fights... There's a big fight in the beginning of the book. I'm not going to spoil it because we haven't officially... we did with the superhero.
I've said it a bunch of times.
Yeah. So Mark's fighting his dad, and he punches him through a building and a few other things. And the people that were in that building, they're fucking dead.
Yeah.
The people that were in the village that they caused the avalanche over, they're dead.
Yeah.
And it's made reference to.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had ever realized that before because I was raised on superhero comics where it was like, oh, Superman and Doomsday are slugging it out in Metropolis, and every time they hit each other, windows shatter and nobody's dead. Yeah, of course, because they have Magica glass in Metropolis that knows not to cut innocent people. Also, they have, like, superhero drills, and they can evacuate a skyscraper in 30 seconds.
Well, it was in The Incredibles, too, where they, like, are essentially, like, they're suing these superheroes for damages, and they're like, oh, we need you to rebuild the buildings you wrecked and all that.
I'm going to reference a movie that I wish that I'm not referencing, but the same thing kind of happens in the first Transformers movie of the new trilogy thing.
The Michael Bay movies.
Yes. Is that when Megatron flies into the side of the skyscraper and, like, annihilates two whole stories of it, the people that want to believe all those people are dead can believe that, but, they don't reference it at all in the movies. It's safe for your teenagers.
Yeah, there's a real difference between, like, showing those floors being blown out and, like, showing an inside camera view of, like, all the happy people working and then getting slaughtered by Megatron as, like, fountains of blood pour out the side of a building. Like, you just handle it differently,
That's the version I want to see. Can I see that movie?
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see how violent Pacific Rim is.
I'm just so excited about that movie.
But yeah, I think Cade's definitely onto something where it's like, well, they're not implicitly showing anyone dying, so you kind of have to read into it, which makes it sort of safe for all ages until the minute you realize, hey, what happened to all those people in that building? And then it's no longer safe for you.
Yeah, until you hit that depressing moment where you realize everybody you ever loved in the movies is dead.
Yeah, they're all dead.
I never loved them. They're extras.
Yeah.
They don't matter.
Well, in the age of...
Hey, that extra was someone's mom.
Extras also do not have souls.
Reading, and this is, if you watch Game of Thrones, you know what it's like. If you read Walking Dead, you know what it's like. If you read Invincible, you know what it's like.
All your favorite characters are dead.
Just like, oh, I really like that. Oh, my God! Oh,
if you've ever watched a Joss Whedon show.
Huh?
If you've ever watched a Joss Whedon show.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We're not even going to talk about Serenity.
Everybody's
let's
dead.
not talk about Serenity. Let's talk about Dollhouse.
Yeah.
That was great.
Nobody watched that show.
I loved all of them. I cried when Dollhouse ended.
I did
Well,
not.
no, just there's this moment in Dollhouse where like this one character has like a moment of true happiness with the person that he loves, and that's exactly the moment where that character gets shot in the head and dies because
seen that
love
before,
is
though.
not real,
Yeah.
according to Joss Whedon.
no.
Nothing's sacred. Everybody
The
dies.
leap on the wind scene. I'll never forgive him for that. Avengers 2 could be so good that it could be the visual equivalent of getting a blowjob while eating an ice cream sundae, and I will still never forgive him for that.
I think the visual
You
equivalent
don't have
of
to-
getting a blowjob while eating an ice cream sundae is watching someone get a blowjob while eating an ice
No,
cream
I
sundae.
mean it's
Wait, while they eat an ice cream sundae, or you eat
the
an ice cream
optical
sundae?
equivalent.
Maybe
I don't
both of
know.
you are eating ice cream sundaes.
That would
I
be
don't
pretty
know.
awesome.
I mean, you're experiencing it through your eyes, so it doesn't really matter what you're putting in your mouth.
I mean, I'm not,
Anyway, let me bring this back to Hawkeye for a second, which is that, one of the fundamental things that you have to do when you read superhero comics is suspend your disbelief and go,
Absolutely.
no, these people are okay.
Yeah.
They saved everyone, la-di-da. And
Those arrows
Hawkeye,
are
this
non-lethal.
comic doesn't do that, and it's one of the many ways in which it's not a traditional superhero comic. It's something a little bit different.
yeah.
Because they don't pretend like, hey, everybody's okay. It's like, no, that guy's crippled. He's going to have at least 6 months to a year of intensive physiotherapy if he lives.
Well, yeah.
And he'll
No,
probably
totally.
be blind.
And
for the rest of
actually,
his
the
life.
book starts with Hawkeye being in the hospital for 6 weeks because he fell out of a building onto a car.
And of course, even then it skips like, okay, he fell out of a building onto a car, and in 6 weeks he's able to get up and walk around like he doesn't need huge amounts of physical therapy.
Right, well,
He's not
yeah.
in
Was it
traction
6
for 6
weeks or
months.
6 months?
It's 6 weeks, I'm pretty sure.
it is 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks later.
But I mean,
Yeah,
like,
6 weeks.
I think it just
Okay.
goes to show, like, the humanity of Hawkeye a lot. It's a great scene. You're not going to see Thor falling off a building into a car and being like, well, I guess I'm in the hospital for 6 weeks. Like, it just isn't going to happen to some of the more,
That did
like,
happen to him once.
Which
but-
he actually
Super
mentions in the first few pages.
What, Thor?
That Thor is a mighty god. He's
Right.
not going to fall out of a building onto a car, and
Yeah.
he doesn't have super strength or.
Yeah, he's just a man on the streets. He's like Daredevil, and
he's-
a lot of
yeah, I
Marvel.
guess.
He's not as cool as Daredevil.
Wow.
I was going to say he's not as badass as Daredevil.
What? No one is.
Well, Daredevil also has some superpower.
Right.
It's true.
Well, Hawkeye has a superpower,
Wait.
sort of. I mean,
That
Wait.
he's
He's the
really
best
good with
archer
a bow.
on earth.
yes.
Wait. Daredevil does not have a superpower.
Yes, he does.
He's
It
got
was an
enhanced
accident
senses and
that
a radar
caused his
sense.
enhanced
No,
senses.
no, he's just blind. He's really, guys. I promise you, he's just a blind guy. Everyone can. Anyone?
gonna-
Radioactive
Nope.
waste went
response.
into his eyes
No.
and enhanced his other senses.
This was the point in the podcast where we ignored Chard because he's clearly trying to troll all of us.
Well, he's just a blind
Although,
guy.
caveat,
Originally,
Mark
though.
Waid's run on Daredevil that's going on right now, so good.
Yeah.
So very, very good.
It's another good example, and this is what Marvel now is doing that's so good, and what Fraction does well, and what Mark Waid does well, is letting superheroes be superheroes.
Yeah.
There's no great, oh, everything's on the line this time. That's cool every once in a while. That's good, But let them be superheroes. Let them run around and shoot arrows at people and jump off of buildings with their billy clubs and stuff. Because that's fun.
Yeah, and things aren't all peaches and sunshine with Daredevil, but it's not like, oh my god, this is the one story that's going to redefine everything.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a bunch of stuff that happens to Daredevil, and he's a hero, and he fights it, and probably he'll win, but maybe there'll be a cost, and it's cool, and it's fun,
Yeah.
and it's well written.
Well, it's also,
Absolutely.
he has to deal with a lot of other things that are not superhero-y.
Right.
Like his personal life and going and taking a dog to the vet because he wants to pay the rent for his all of his, housemates or whatever. Yeah, like Hawkeye's just, this book specifically kind of just treads the line between like mundane shit that superheroes have to do and like really
Absolutely.
awesome shit that superheroes have to do. And Hawkeye just gets the shit beat out of him for the
yes.
entire book, and
He
it's
really
fantastic
It's a lot of
because
fun.
he probably would. I mean, he's going in over his head all the time. He's like really brash as a character and just kind of puts himself into shitty situations. He doesn't think things through very well, and he gets out by the skin on his teeth and whatever. Is that a real saying?
Skin of his teeth.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a saying.
You have teeth? You have
The
teeth
skin
skin?
of his teeth.
Well, no, it's I don't know
Okay.
how that works.
Skin of your
I've
teeth.
said that.
When you get off by the skin of your teeth, think about your teeth. Do they have skin on them?
No. So he didn't get out?
No, he did, but...
I just want to know if I'm using it properly.
You are.
Okay, so he barely escapes the situation, and it's kind of like what makes him a better hero is, like now he has the experience to like get him through another shitty situation.
It's like by a hair's breadth, but more so.
Yeah, like a half of a hair spread.
Yeah. Like the skin on your teeth is so thin, it doesn't even exist.
Right. Oh, okay. I gotcha.
There you go. Got it?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
T-I-L.
The more you know.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. That might be that one.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Okay. So do we have anything else to say about Hawkeye?
Well, yeah, I want to talk about Kate Bishop because I haven't got to talk about Kate Bishop
Kate
yet.
Bishop's incredible.
Kate Bishop sells this book for me. She's way more interesting than Hawkeye's character is. It's like, I get it, he's a womanizer, he likes ladies, he sleeps with them and then gets attacked in their house with no clothes on. Also, best censoring I've ever seen in a comic in this one.
Absolutely.
With the Hawkeye mask. And,
yeah.
no, I get it. Like, Hawkeye's character is very, I want to say simple because it's not. Like, he has a lot of layers, but it's very well defined. Like,
Very straightforward.
We know what he's like. Yeah, it's extremely straightforward, and we kind of know what to expect. It's like, oh, that's Hawkeye. Nah, 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 nah. Like, that's what we're going to get, every issue. And with Kate Bishop, like, we don't really know. Like, she isn't established very much as a character. And one of my favorite stories in this book was the Young Avengers, like...
Yeah, the backup
The
story.
add-on backup story, where she's just like... You kind of realize, like, oh, Kate isn't this established hero. Kate isn't gonna do okay every time. In the Madame Mask story, I was like actually worried for her. Is like, oh shit, Clint's just gonna leave her behind because he doesn't know she's here. Because he did, I was like,
pretty cool.
I was like, oh fuck, this is not going well. Kate's gonna get fucked up because we've seen Clint get fucked up the whole book, and like, Kate's just kind of is like fine all the time. I was like, well, now we get to see Kate make her first like real mistake as a hero, and
She's what makes it work.
we didn't see that, and that's great. But what I really liked was that backup that Young Avengers presents Hawkeye, where you just realize she doesn't have her shit together at all. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. She has her social life is fucked up. Her hero life is fucked up.
The reason she's so good as a hero is because every other aspect of her life is just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, she's really good and focused in this one area because it's the one area where she knows she can exercise control.
Well, it's also the one area where someone has, like, taken her under their wing and been like, look, I know that you're real good. We're going to make you better. Keep practicing.
Stronger.
Yeah.
Faster. Harder. Right.
And I think that part of the story was just, like, extremely strong. And I think that she's great as a character. Like, the fact that she gets under Hawkeye's skin and, like, makes him think about shit, too. And that he doesn't he knows that he can, like, trust her, but he doesn't quite know what's going on with her. The part where, like, oh, I've got too much baggage. And he's, like, gets off the plane. He's like, I've been thinking about it for 30 hours or whatever. And it's, it's clear that she kind of gets to him and he doesn't really know what's going on.
Oh, she says, I have enough baggage without yours.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And I thought she's a fantastic character. And again, I talked about it on the last episode. I know this because I edited the last episode today. I talked about where I love the young adult superheroes.
Yeah.
Kate Bishop's another great example of that. It's what made Young Avengers work so well. And it's good to see them getting some love in the Marvel Universe again, because I was worried.
Absolutely.
I was worried they were going to go away.
That Young Avengers team was great. There was a
So
lot
good.
of heart there.
Oh my god, so much. And Warlock and Iron
Wiccan,
Lad and it's Wiccan, not Warlock.
And Iron Lad. Well, Iron Lad
Lad.
because the Vision and Asgardian.
Yeah.
And Hulkling.
I'm reminded one of the things I really liked about this story is you look at the Young Avengers backup issue, which is older, and Kate Bishop is wearing this like skin tight, midriff bearing, whatever girl superhero costume, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
But when you actually look at the main story, she's wearing she's wearing basically what Hawkeye's wearing.
She does have some weird outfits in this book.
She does,
Not
but
gonna
they're
lie.
not.
The ones where her hip, she's got those like circle cutouts on her hips around the belt buckles. That was a little weird for me.
Like one of the things.
But she also. Oh, go ahead, Joe. I was going to talk about her clothes more.
Well, no. I think that's the thing. I was today. There's been a big hubbub on the internet because Disney wants to change. What's her name? Meridia, the brave Disney princess, for her for her princess at the Disney theme park and a few other things. They want to sexify it, right? Because it's got to, got to conform to that standard of beauty.
That's what I love.
And
in
it's
kids'
bullshit,
movies.
right? Because it sets a completely unrealistic expectation. And one of the things I really liked about this book is that Cade is not running around with her tits hanging out. She's not running around with her ass hanging out. She's wearing clothing. She's wearing what a teenage female superhero would be wearing to run around and shoot people with. Like,
She's also not wearing high heels.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's what she was wearing. It makes sense. It feels like something you would see somebody running around rooftops and shooting people with a bow would wear.
She's got some adorable clothes too. Like
Yeah.
I really like the one she's wearing on the very first the video when they go to the videotape when they just like show up and steal Hawkeye off the
Yeah,
rooftop.
yeah.
She's just got like cool regular people clothes on, like a nice, good striped shirt and some shoes, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
She's got real cute outfits and like pretty well put together. The only one that threw me was the one with the like cutout circles on the hips and the shoulders.
It was a little bit weird, but it wasn't unnecessarily sexified.
No, it was not sexified at all. She's got boots on in that, no high heels again. Like it's good.
Yeah, earlier on, she's wearing a purple shirt, like a purple T-shirt, blue jeans, and a gray jacket.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
perfect,
and
ordinary, everyday
She's
person
dressed like a
clothes.
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a human
It's
being.
like,
It's nice.
wow, that's refreshing.
Also, like cool stuff too. Like
Yeah.
I've been noticing a lot. Like some artists are really good at drawing kids or younger people in cool clothes, and some of them really are not.
Yeah.
It was one of the things I really took away from the Runaways. Is
Yeah,
that they all dress pretty cool, and they're not.
Yeah.
And they're never all wearing the same outfits and stuff. Like they don't look generic at all. Like I really liked that about that series,
Yeah,
which is another good series if you haven't read.
I haven't read all of it.
the first volume is good. I don't know about the later stuff as much.
I liked everything that I've read. I don't know how far that goes, to be honest with you. Because I think someone else took over after a while.
Yeah,
There
I
was
don't remember
not-
the details exactly.
Brian
There's
Came
some good stuff later on though.
Yeah.
There's one scene where Molly Hayes, who's 8 years old and has super strength, beats the shit out of Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's just incredible.
Also, there's a dinosaur in that book, so I'm
there?
all yeah. There's like a velociraptor. Like
Oh
one-
yeah, no, there is. There totally
Yeah.
is.
I forgot that.
Any book with
Dinosaurs are-
dinosaurs, I'm in.
Yeah, totally. All right, so shall we move to recommendations?
Yeah,
I feel like it'll be a pretty straightforward because I've seen what Andrew is going to recommend and I already know what I'm going to vote for.
Oh, is it what I recommended?
Probably will be actually. But
I
it's-
haven't seen it, so
Oh, okay.
it's
Should I go
not-
first?
Go ahead and go
Yeah,
first
go ahead.
because
We talked about Mark Waid a lot on the show, and everybody knows how much I love Mark Waid. And so I brought, in honor of the fact that there's a new Superman movie coming out soon, which is undoubtedly going to retell his origin for the 8 millionth time.
8 million in first. Actually.
Yeah, I brought my favorite Superman origin story, which is Superman Birthright. And don't get me wrong, like I also love John Byrne's Man of Steel to no end. Feels a lot less like an origin story though than this. This is very much like Superman's first adventure. This is the Superman year one of.
I think it's actually really funny. I read the first issue of Birthright like when it came out in 2002 or 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then I never finished it, and I kept meaning to go back. And like a few weeks ago, I was like, "Oh, I have to read Superman Birthright." I'm like halfway through it.
It's good. It's awesome. I love it. I reread
Like
it today.
I'm right in the middle of reading it.
It just is like cool shit is happening, and Superman it's that young adult superhero thing that I really like. It's like
Absolutely.
Superman's figuring his shit out for the first time. He's out in the world. He's like, I don't know what I should do with my life, and not in the way that he does it in Earth 2,
Earth
1, which was stupid. Like
But
this
his outfit was so cool.
Oh god,
A hoodie with a jacket over it?
Everything
Never
about
been done before.
everything about that book makes me upset. But the only thing about that book that doesn't make me upset is that it's an ongoing graphic novel series, which is like what I've been asking for years. But they just happen that's going to be the one that they do it with. No, I love Superman Birthright. It's cool, iconic Superman stuff. Like he's saving Lois Lane and punching robots and shit. And,
Not the hugest fan of the artwork.
it's drawn by Lionel Francis Yu, and he is very polarizing. I've noticed.
I love the art
Like
in that, but
I don't hate it, but I just don't care for it very much.
Yeah, I really like it. Lionel Francis Yu, the thing he's probably best known for besides this is Secret Invasion? Or,
Maybe.
yeah, the thing that I knew him from was the, what are the Immortal? No.
Eternals?
No, they're the Targaryen Mists or whatever.
Inhumans.
Inhumans, yeah. He did the Marvel Knights.
Terrigen Mist.
The
Yeah,
Terrigen,
whatever.
not Targaryen. Mist.
Whatever.
It's where the dragons come
There's-
from.
It
where
could be
dragons-
Targaryen Mist.
That's where dragons come from. Targaryens.
dragons.
No, yeah. So
Mother
he
dragons.
did that miniseries for Marvel Knights.
Right,
When they launched
right.
Marvel Knights, which was a really cool miniseries. So that's, I think, where I first saw him. And then I love the art in Birthright. A lot of it for the coloring. It's very iconic, quote unquote, iconic comic book coloring,
Yeah.
where it's like very bright colors, very saturated, and just like Superman's costume looks like Superman's costume. It's very blue and very red, and the sky is always like cool contrasting colors, and there's a lot of cool shit in here that I think has not really been done with Superman's origin before. Like, Lex actually knows more about Krypton than Superman does at first, and it's
Right.
like kind of interesting to see why Lex Luthor is obsessed with Superman. It's not just like, oh, he's an alien and I hate him, because in the DC universe there's lots of aliens, so Lex would be kind of preoccupied hating
Right,
a lot of
right.
stuff. So in this one, it kind of like brought new fun light to it, where it's like, oh yeah, he hates him because like he knows more about him, and there's like stuff going on, and Lex is just kind of a dickhole, and you find out why, and it's cool. I love this story. I think it's a fantastic
It also goes
origin.
in quite a bit into how Superman's powers define his character.
Absolutely. I feel like if you're going to look at All-Star Superman for this kind of ultimate explanation of like why he's iconic, like the Superman character is iconic, this is, I think, a really great example of why Superman is Superman.
Yeah,
So like,
and why he matters in the DC
yeah,
universe.
exactly. It's like this is an exploration of like the mythos of Superman and why that is iconic. And it's got probably it's just there's a few panels in there that just really they'll get you right in the feels.
And I love too the idea of like when he decides to be Superman, like how his family is involved in that decision,
Yeah.
and like you see him as a man too. Like he's coming into his own as an adult, and like his parents are having to deal with like, oh, he's leaving the house. He's not
Absolutely.
gonna be our kid anymore. And it's cool, and I like that. I like that element to it. I like the mom kind of like helping him design the
Yeah,
costume
that's
and the
good.
idea, and like the costume. By the costume, I obviously mean Clark Kent, and don't ever wear t-shirts or your muscles will show off. Like hunch
Right.
over and wear sweaters and talk softer. No, softer.
So yeah, I think the other thing that I'm really excited about is that just from the trailer from Man of Steel, I am 90% sure that Nolan read this and was using it.
Well,
as-
Nolan's
hope
really good at
I mean,
finding. Well, Nolan's team, I should say, is
it's-
really
it's
good at
finding what's important and using it. And if they're gonna base Man of Steel off this,
Oh yeah,
then it's gonna be the Superman movie that we've needed for a while.
yeah. I love a lot of this. I love the introduction to Lois Lane and to Jim.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Jimmy.
no.
Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, no, I just think everything about this is like very iconic Superman, but modern at the same time. It's like a
Absolutely.
cool modern, and it's Mark Waid. So what the fuck do you think? It's gonna be awesome.
Maybe you've given me the energy to finish reading it.
There you go. There you go.
It's one of my favorite Superman stories.
What'd you bring, Joe?
I brought Black Hole by Charles Burns.
I've never heard of this. So.
It's Charles Burns he does a lot of indie stuff. Black Hole is basically the story of a bunch of high school kids that are going to school. This epidemic is going on. It's this disease, and what it does is it mutates you, and not like X-Men mutates you, but like you grow a tail or horns or scales. And basically, it's just kind of an analysis of the awkwardness and alienating nature of cliques in high school and what it feels, an exploration of the alienation of being a teenager. It's beautifully written. It's beautifully illustrated. It's all black and white. It's incredibly like stark. Almost feels like he was using a technique like he started with a black panel and like scratched white into it almost. The panels are so dark. It's good though. I think it's very good. I mostly brought it because I thought it would be interesting to talk about. But I think it's beautifully illustrated, and I think it's really well written. I think Charles Burns has written a few other things that are all kind of weird and on the kind of on the fringe, but it's I think it's very good. So I thought it'd be interesting to recommend, and I also think it's. I think that if you're looking for an indie title, if you're looking for comic books that are not superhero, that are not kind of I hesitate to use the word mainstream, but like superheroes that are comic books that are more literary, graphic novels that are more literary, that you could have like base a discussion around, I think Black Hole would be a good place to start. That's
That's
what I got.
That was a really good book report, Joe.
Thank you.
Cade, what'd you
Did you want to do Matt's?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Matt McGinnis could not be here, but because he picked the book, and his wife had to go in and work at the last minute, and so we are deprived of his presence. He wanted to recommend a book called Witch Doctor. By Brandon Seifert and Lucas Kettner. It's published by Skybound Entertainment, which is Robert Kirkman's imprint.
Ooh.
And it's, I guess, a medical drama horror fantasy, dark fantasy.
Unfortunately, none of us have read this one, so the pitch is a little rough, but...
But it seems interesting. It's about, the blurb I read was pretty much, it said it's about a doctor trying to find a cure to the apocalypse.
Nice.
So, and the cover is pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to see this.
So, yeah. So.
Okay, I recognize this. Yeah.
So, check it out. Matt's got good taste for the most part. He recommended the book we just spent almost an hour talking about. So, go check it out. And Kirkman deserves your support because he does good stuff.
Yeah.
He does.
And he doesn't pay his artists.
He doesn't.
Oh, wait. Is that...
Does he not?
There's the lawsuit with Tony Moore. But
yeah.
He paid him for his art. He just didn't pay him for the creator rights.
Right.
Okay, well, the books that I brought today, I say books because I have 6 of them and you can read them in like 10 minutes, are Twisted Toyfare Theater by a bunch of people, but mainly Pat McCollum, Tom Root, and Douglas Goldstein have the credits for most of the storylines they do. But it was originally a comic strip in Wizards Toyfare magazine where these guys would pose action figures in very promiscuous and awkward positions and make comics about it, and they're absolutely hilarious.
And this was the genesis of Robot Chicken, wasn't it? That the guys who were creating these comics teamed up with Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green actually wrote some of the ones in these books.
So if you like Robot Chicken, check this shit out.
Yeah, I remember reading these in Wizard magazine. I always thought they were hilarious.
Yeah, I actually have volumes 1, 2, and 7 at home.
That's seriously some of the funniest shit I've ever read.
And it is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Just an amazing send-up of superheroes and comics. A lot of their work is with Mego action figures.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know Megos, they're from like the 70s or something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy amounts of articulation. Like blows modern action figures out of the water in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they always also had like weird ass clothes on because the
Yeah.
Mego dolls like had like real fabric clothes.
Yeah,
and
With,
kinda weird.
if you've seen the new, well, not the newest, but the first run of Venture Brothers action figures, they were based on Mego figures. They were
somehow
like,
I'm not surprised by that.
yeah, they were like joke Mego figures for Venture Brothers. It's great.
Of course they were.
But even the first strip in this comic, it's Spider-Man steals Thor's hammer and his hair and...
Because Spider-Man is totally a dick in these comic books.
is.
He's kind of like...
holds the hammer above his head, yells, "By the power of Grayskull," and commences to smash little Jawa action figures with Thor's hammer. It's so ridiculous. You can't stop reading it, and that's why I have 6 volumes. And
It was
brought them with
almost
me.
like a webcomic before there were webcomic strips.
Yeah,
you know, because like
it
it has
was.
that feel where it's just like a bunch of guys dicking around with action figures, and they're like, "Ah, what ridiculous shit can we come up with this week?" And it feels like that in the best possible way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a bunch of guys sitting around in their dorm room getting high and playing with action figures. And
Yeah.
this is the story that they would come up with.
Yeah,
It really is that great.
yeah. All right, Toby, what'd you bring?
I brought something a little bit different. I'm not actually expecting anyone to pick it because it's kind of weird. It's Prince of Cats by Ron Wimberly. It was put out by Vertigo last year. It's really remixy. Let me put it that way. It's Romeo and Juliet, told from Tybalt's perspective, set in late 80s Brooklyn, like black inner city youth, but layered with like a samurai aesthetic on top of that, because it's basically all these like young, poor black gang guys running around with samurai swords, chopping each other's arms off and getting into street brawls. And it's all written in Shakespearean English and iambic pentameter. Yeah, exactly. Like it. I actually found this very hard to read. In the way that Shakespeare is hard to read. Like,
Yeah.
there's Mercutio and Petruchio and all of these other characters with very similar Italian names, and it's kind of hard to keep things straight or figure out exactly what's going on. But the art is really incredible. Very different from what you would get in mainstream comics. It's really different, and I liked it a
Nice.
lot. I actually just got this earlier this week.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier this week. So yeah.
So it's not the most accessible thing ever. I'm not expecting everyone who reads it to like it, but if you're looking for something a little bit weird, a little bit different, with an aesthetic that you're not used to, you should definitely check out Prince of Cats.
Is it written where the like jokes are very old Englishy, where like you just won't get them because you don't know what the vocabulary
it's written
is, or
in that sort of vocabulary, but you'll definitely get the jokes.
okay, because that was
I mean,
always
it's-
the hardest thing about.
I mean, Shakespeare,
Shakespeare.
when you actually get into Shakespeare, it's pretty fucking dirty.
Yeah, but again, like you don't know these old English terms and jokes, so you're like, I don't know what's happening, and it's like, oh,
Speak
it was
for yourself, you jackanape.
it was a butt sex joke. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it now.
But between the words and the art, you definitely pick up on where they're making jokes.
Yeah. Well, good. Cool. That sounds really interesting.
And you know that joke about Superman is like flying around and he's really horny and he sees Wonder Woman naked and he like swoops down to try and have sex with her really quickly and then flies away. And it turns out that Wonder Woman is having sex with the Invisible Man and he's like, my butt hurts. They tell that joke, but in Shakespearean English, and it's even more hilarious because it
that's
rhymes.
Great. That's great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that joke, but it's a funny one.
Yeah, well, I told it in about the worst way possible.
Well, it still worked.
How can you not know that joke? That joke is like older than
Wait,
I am.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never heard it.
And
No,
what's even weirder is
seriously.
that occasionally, like within the iambic pentameter, they occasionally slip into like vernacular.
Oh, nice.
Like it's really weird.
Nice.
Verily, you're for real?
wasn't that joke actually
Iambic
in one of the
jive.
Twisted Toyfare Theater ones?
I like
Maybe.
the art a lot.
Yeah. I'm holding up the book for everybody to see.
Yeah.
It's incredibly colorful.
Yeah.
Including
It's
you guys
really,
at home.
it's dense. It's got kind of a little bit of a graffiti aesthetic to it.
Yeah, it looks like, it's got that thick line.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to couch it in these terms, even though that's what it says on the back of the book, but it does have a certain hip-hop aesthetic.
It looks a little bit cell-shaded, like to use like a video game,
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
Comparison to like Jet Set Radio or something,
Like a lot, it's got a lot of texturing in the color. They also use a lot of angles that you don't normally see.
Cool.
Like the framing is really, I don't know what exactly, different.
Nice. Well, it looks really interesting. So.
I saw a panel of a skateboard getting chopped in half by a samurai sword. So
Yeah, and there's some really awesome samurai duels in this.
Nice. I love a good samurai duel. All right. Should we vote?
Yeah.
Joe, what do you want to read?
I'm going to vote for Birthright.
Cade?
Come back to me.
All right. Toby?
Jeez, I'm gonna vote for Witch Doctor.
All right. It's all on you, Cade.
So if I say Prince of Cats, then it's up to you.
Yeah. Except I can't vote for Birthright, so it'll be between Witch Doctor and Prince of Cats.
I'll go for Witch Doctor.
All right. My vote is irrelevant. Well, I guess I could tie. I could just make a I'm
You
here
could vote
to
for Black Hole or Prince of Cats.
I'm here to not make it tie. So,
Right.
I want to read both of those. Can I vote for both? My vote's still irrelevant.
Sure.
Black Hole
Yes.
and Prince of
Yes.
Cats.
You can make half a vote for each of them.
Yes.
So we picked Matt's book so that we could
Wow, 2 weeks in a row.
so
Yeah.
we can get him down here next time.
All right.
He'll be thrilled.
Also on the back of Joe's amazing pitch of that book. So
Yeah, good
I
job,
thought
Joe.
I thought it was
no,
pretty
it was
good.
pretty good.
I thought it
For
was
not
pretty
having
good.
read the book is the best we could really do.
I do want to say for the record that I was very sorely tempted to vote for Twisted Toyfare because it is really fun to read.
Well,
I just don't know that I'd have a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm taking it home and reading it, and
think-
I'm gonna pee myself. I'm sure.
It's a great recommendation, but I don't know.
really,
I
you
don't
should
know what
read
we would talk
all the
about
books
except that
that
it's
we
like
talked
it's
about.
hilarious. Yeah.
You should read, and you should read. I will say this: if you are the kind of person that says, "Oh, Superman's boring. He's just like super powerful, and that's boring," shut up your face because you don't know anything, and read Birthright.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it.
And if you haven't read enough Shakespeare, read Prince of Cats.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you should clearly read anything that Toby recommends because he has misgivings. So if he's recommending it, then
Yeah. It must be pretty good.
it must be pretty good.
All right, so Witch Doctor,
Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor.
Next-
We will reconvene in
next episode.
2 weeks.
All right.
12 weeks.
And
No,
we'll
due weeks.
Didn't you have another end cap announcement, Joe?
Did I have an NCAP announcement?
About
oh,
emails?
yes. So if you notice, if you hear us saying something that is patently untrue, erroneous, false,
We don't care.
fiction, email us. Let us know. If you want to tell us that we suck, if you want to tell us that we're great, email us.
Yeah, bend our
Or-
ears. Recommend something to us.
Yes,
Because we
tell
don't
us.
know about everything.
Tell us
and-
how wrong we are to recommend Superman Birthright instead of Batman Nightfall, or something we've never even heard of.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
Yeah, we all do this partially for the recommendations too. So
Yeah, exactly.
We love recommendations.
We're looking to expand our horizons in the same way that we would like to expand the horizons of others. So, what's our email address again?
It's contact@viewfromthegutters.com.
and soon, hopefully, we're
You can
working
also
on getting,
check out our Facebook page
We have a
or our
Facebook
Twitter
page
account
and a
and send us
Twitter
messages at any of those locations, and we'll still get them.
Absolutely. And also, I'm hoping within the next couple of shows we will have host emails so you can tell us individually how
Oh yeah.
asinine our opinions are.
It's mostly just so we can have a giant contest of who gets the most fan mail.
well,
By the time you are listening to this episode, we will all have host emails,
Host
and they should be
emails.
up on our website, maybe also with host bios.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
that's viewfromthegutters.com. You can search for us, View from the Gutters on Facebook and View
Yeah.
from the Gutters on Twitter.
Mine's already set up. I'm Cade at View from the Gutters.
All right.
Yeah, so any hate
And
mail,
I have a Twitter account at Cade VFTW.
And
Nice.
my Twitter is at Joe Amazo, spelled like Amazo, Amazo.
I don't
I
have
also have a Twitter account, but you're going to have to find it.
I don't have any social media. I have an email, but I'm not telling anybody what it is.
It's Andrew at viewfromthegutters.com as
Yeah,
of
that
now.
one.
It's yeah, I got nothing. I'm
butt
sorry,
fart.
I lost that one.
It's buttfart at poop.com.
It's wetfart at diarrhea.org.
Yep, that's my email.
It's
That is-
monkeypenis.fart.
Yep,
That is.
we got
Okay,
it.
recording
All right.
over.
Good night.
All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.